podcast.
Ladies and friends and our non-binary friends.
From where?
I don't know. I've heard that before.
Okay, I was like, wait. This sounds familiar, but I'm kind of
Jenna
confused.
Marble said it at one point.
Oh, okay.
But she's not the one that came up with it.
Well, that's probably where I heard it, though, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's where you heard it.
Anywho, my name is Jeanette.
And my name is Emily.
We decided to do this podcast because we are very close. That is all. No,
that's the only reason.
We found a very common interest in spooky things.
Common but different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily is more interested in that true crime kind of feel.
More
true
like
stories.
Researched, like
factual.
Yeah. Factual. Good word.
Yeah. Yay me. I can English. Anyways, so yes, she's into factual things.
Wait,
she has a cat in her lap.
My sister just delivered me a cat and placed
She doesn't have a cat in a hat. She has a cat in her lap. That was a horrible joke that I would have laughed at, but
you did laugh at it, just inside.
It was just a chuckle.
Angel girl. Oh, honey.
Anyways.
Oh, I need to get the cat off of my lap. Otherwise, that's going to be the whole podcast is me talking in my cat voice. Okay, goodbye.
If y'all want that episode, just let us know. Anyways. Okay, so my side of the spookiness is more of fake. Because
like
I
horror
find,
movies.
yes,
yeah.
I am a horror fanatic when it comes to, I don't know, movies, TV shows, books. Honestly, if it's like science fiction mixed in with it, freaking love that.
You like supernatural stuff, which I'm not saying isn't factual or real, but it's like different.
And that, that falls under science fiction. Supernatural does, because I mean it involves science.
I can
and it's
see
fake.
that, yeah, absolutely.
But anywho, because what we will be talking about today is actually a sci-fi story. Believe
Isn't
it or
really depicted as one though.
Yeah, no. But that's what I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
One of the things. Okay, if y'all are lost, my favorite movie. Well, horror movie, I guess, not movie of all time, because that would probably be like.
Probably.
I don't know. I
think your favorite movie of all time is a mixture between Bohemian Rhapsody and. You really liked Suicide Squad. You have a really
wide range,
controversial movie taste.
Yeah, it's true. Honestly, it's more like if I like it, I will like it,
Yeah.
My favorite like comedy movie is Vacation, in case you've never seen it. Oh my god.
I don't think I have seen that.
Like,
have you never showed me that? What
was it, 2017, 16? It was like the brand new Vacation. Know. Anyways, oh wait, no. Yeah. Okay.
So Vacation is your favorite comedy?
Yes. Anyways, my favorite horror movie of all time is It by Stephen King.
Well, the book is not
the book is Stephen King.
I'm going to go ahead and preface this. I've seen the movie once. I watched it at your house.
Was it the original, like the mini-series, or was it?
No, we watched the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we watched the new one. This was like a couple years ago.
So she's gonna need a refresher.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna need a reminder of everything that happened. I haven't read the book though, either. Even though that's something, by the way, that I'll probably be covering more of is horror books.
Yeah, she reads a lot more books than I do, but I did read It by Stephen King, which is very surprising for Jeanette to be reading a book that long. Thick.
Yeah,
it's literally
a
Bible. It is Stephen King's longest novel. I was at Barnes & Noble, and they had like a special, like really pretty cover. It was like leather and stuff like that, and it was the stories Carrie, Pet Sematary, and another one of Stephen King's books.
I didn't know he wrote Carrie too.
Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness, where have I been?
He wrote, or that special has 3 books in it, and it still wasn't as thick as it.
Yeah.
It took him 4 years to write it.
It is 1,138 pages.
Yeah, it's
long.
she's thick with 2 C's.
Wow, I'd say 3 actually.
You know what? 4, because it took him 4 years to make it. So.
Wait, this is really funny because another question said, "How many pages is Stephen King's longest book?"
820.
Yes, is it 123?
Well, which one is it?
I'm so confused. Okay.
That's the one that's on like the Bible print, like teeny tiny.
It's like really thin pages and everything like that.
No, anywho, okay. But yes, I have seen the miniseries multiple times, which honestly is not as entertaining, just because it's very draggy.
Tell me about the miniseries, because I haven't heard of that until right this second.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, first, since you need to brush up on the movie.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah. and that way the audience can know exactly, too, because, I mean, not everyone is as obsessed. Okay, so... There is a clown, which, hold on, it goes a lot deeper than that, but like we're going to get into that later.
I'm following.
But yes, it is a clown.
So this is probably where everyone's fear of clowns originate. Oh, not everybody's, but a lot of fear of clowns can originate from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a clown, but the reason why it's called it is because he transforms basically into anything that you're afraid of.
So, kind of like the boggart on Harry Potter.
Sure.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's in the third movie. Basically, it just transforms into everyone's greatest fear.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that.
Yes. When he comes out of like the closet and then they
it's just all of the students' fears.
Yeah, I just had to think for a second.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what he does because Pennywise is actually from
Pennywise the clown.
Yes, Pennywise is the name of the clown. Well, I mean, I don't want to say he because honestly, no one. Oh yeah, there we go.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is he referred to it?
Yeah,
he is it. Okay.
Yeah, like he's literally it.
So that's okay. I got it. Sorry, I'll stop cutting you off.
No, you're good. It's because they don't know his true form. I mean, I know his true form. Any person who read the book will know his true form. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't know his true form. They don't know if it's a boy or girl. They don't know anything. So that's why they call it it.
That makes sense. Absolutely. Isn't the guy that played him like cute in real life?
Bill Skarsgård, yes, who played the 2017 version, is beautiful.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. Anyways, so he is from another world. Another dimension.
Oh, so we're also dealing with
an alien, basically. That's what he is.
Sick.
Yeah. So he comes to feast before he goes back into hibernation in his world. Okay. So every 27 years, he comes to feed off of fear. And
so that's why he becomes
Yes. And who's the most afraid of everything is like kids, because adults don't care. They're just like, okay,
absolutely. Adults are just like,
yeah, so he targets children because of that.
That would absolutely make sense. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just thinking of Monsters, Inc., by the way.
I mean, it's honestly, it's the same thing.
Does he have like a tank that like the children scream and it like fills up?
No, he just eats them.
He takes it back. So he doesn't have a tank that he just fills up.
He has dead
lights.
Screams? He has dead lights. Not at all.
Does he have to fuel them with screams?
Honestly, he only uses dead lights if the child isn't scared.
All I want to do is watch Monsters.
Next up is Monsters, Inc. No, okay. So yes, he comes back every 27 years to feed off of children, and he thinks, being a clown, he can reel the kids in because children like clowns. So not anymore because of this movie, but
is the number 27 significant in any way other than that he comes back as that?
Okay, so basically it's literally just his hibernation.
Like so there's not like
there's not
a spooky number between. Okay.
Exactly. It's literally 27 to 30 years. Like it's not even specifically just 27.
It's a really long hibernation time, honestly.
But I mean,
I wish I could sleep for 27 to 30 years.
Honestly, what a life.
I probably would be able to if no one like touched me. But I feel like if I sleep for over 24 hours, people are going to be a little bit concerned for me.
There was like a reason.
Isabel, shut up.
I don't know if you can hear her cat, but
she's so
love it.
Angry. She wants to go outside so badly, but it's almost midnight and she's not going outside.
The only thing that Pennywise fears himself is starvation, which makes sense.
Really? So does he feasts off of the fear?
Mm-hmm.
So he's literally just trying to eat.
Yeah, like that's.
All right, I mean, good for you, dude.
That's all he's doing. Which I mean, yes, it's very depressing. Poor Georgie, may he rest in peace. But in all the other children,
I'm just kidding.
Everyone knows
this entire pod. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know,
yes, there will be spoilers in this episode.
Movies, right?
Oh yeah, and even the book.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, there's no specific significance in the 27.
Okay.
And then, if you didn't know this, or the audience, he only posting a cat right now. Love it.
Well, I figured our audience might want to know who I'm talking to.
That's true. Anywho, okay, and another question that usually follows the 27-year thing is why Derry, Maine is chosen.
Oh, is it only one town?
Yeah, it's literally just that town.
That sucks. Why don't people just not live there?
So, no one. But the reason why it's still populated is because all of the adults don't know he exists. So it's like only the children. Yeah.
Oh no.
Only if you believe in him.
Just like Tinkerbell.
If you believe in him, you will see.
Cheer for him to feast on you.
Oh my god.
Pennywise, I believe in you.
So, but the reason why Derry, Maine is the only one chosen is because it's cursed ground.
Mm-hmm.
It is where he originated.
Okay.
Okay, so there was a very old tribe. I can't remember the exact year.
Oh, I was about to joke and say, is it a burial ground? And it definitely is, isn't it?
No, yes, and you know what else is a burial ground?
What?
Is the same ground that Pet Sematary, another Stephen King book.
Oh, really?
I think he just has like a thing with like tribes and stuff.
But if you're gonna write horror, it tends to be like a stereotype.
That's true.
To do burial grounds or like any sort of cursed thing. It tends to just be like burial grounds.
But yeah, that's the same basically for it's they go in so much into detail in like the brand new It Chapter 2.
Okay.
They don't really go into detail in the miniseries, which we'll get to that, which is weird because it's literally like a 4-hour movie if you watch it all in one sitting.
Oh, really? Well, I guess if it's like episodes, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but in It Chapter 2, they literally show like the old tribe and stuff.
Oh, okay. And that's interesting.
Pennywise, he shows up using his deadlights, which are basically his like soul, I guess.
I'm still not there. Sorry.
Okay. So, okay. We'll get back to that then. So,
okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
The tribe basically summoned him. And
the tribe summoned him.
So
dummies.
Yeah, exactly. So he planted in Derry, Maine as his spot to find his food.
Okay.
Because the tribe basically got him there.
So it was like a Ouija board. How if you summoned them, they just like.
But it was with like this little like sack.
Just so we're clear, we're never ever doing a Ouija board.
unless we get money for it. Sponsor us.
Ouija board, don't sponsor us because I don't want to.
Please sponsor us. I want money.
Ouija board, please.
Anywho, so that's why it's Dairy Maine, and that's why it's every 27 years. It's hibernation, and then the tribe summons him.
That makes sense. So, okay, so you already said that he shows them their worst fears.
Mm-hmm.
And it's realistic for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the adults can't see it.
Right.
Okay.
The adults can't see it because, okay, if you see something that's completely out of the ordinary, you're just gonna be like, what? I need to go to bed. Or something. You know, like, you just brush it off.
That's just how adults tend to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A child will believe that it's real and be like, oh, well, let me go play with that. Or, oh, like, I'm scared. I'm gonna run away.
Yeah.
You know? And so he takes the form of a clown to become their friend. And
although he's the creepiest looking clown. Why does he...
Even the, like, miniseries one, it's still creepy. Honestly...
I mean, clowns are creepy.
They are. But I also think it had a big part in making clowns creepy.
I'm sure it did, but I also don't think clowns have ever been not creepy, you know?
Right. But, anyways, so he also, another thing I think would, like, brought Pennywise to, like, go towards the clown feature is because Dairy Maine has a circus once a year. And
does he only come during the time of the circus?
Okay, so I don't know if he plans it that way.
Or if it just kind of happens.
It's like there.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's fair.
So then he's like, oh, like, come see Pennywise, the dancing clown. You know, like, it's just like a perfect setup for him. So he's like, yes, a clown works. Be my friend. So,
ew.
Yeah.
I hate that.
So, now that we kind of know, like, basically everything, there's 10 random facts that I wanted to go over.
Okay.
So the number one fact that I find extremely interesting is his true form, which you only read about it in the book.
Really? Mm-hmm. So they never touch on it in either movie?
Really.
That's strange. You would think that they would do that.
They have hints. They show his true form, but you don't know what that is. So let me just go ahead and tell you.
Yeah, please.
A spoiler. It's a turtle.
I'm so sorry.
He's a turtle.
You're absolutely kidding me.
No, I'm dead serious. If you watch, you know, I haven't watched the miniseries in a hot minute, honestly, because it's just been a hot minute, and it's also kind of hard to watch because it really drags. I don't know what's happening. There's a video of a cookie being made on our laptop.
It's a stormtrooper cookie too.
It fits what we're talking about. Totally.
Yeah, Pennywise stormtrooper, same.
Yeah.
Banana. No, that's not it. It's tomato.
Yeah.
Banana. Banana.
Oh my god. Anyways, so yes, his true form is a turtle. Did you know that?
No.
Like, dead serious.
No,
you didn't know
dead
that.
serious. I
Okay,
did not know that. Wait, like, hold on. Like, I'm sorry, I just have to wrap my brain around this first. Like a big turtle or like a small turtle? Or like a tortoise?
I mean, he could be any size because he can do that. Like, literally, he doesn't have, like, that's what he looks like, though, is a turtle. Like,
I hate
but he turns
that.
into a clown, and
I feel like
else.
children would be more endeared by turtles than clowns.
Right? Like a talking little turtle, I'd be like,
okay,
oh my
no,
god,
if
I'll
it's
be your
talking,
friend.
I don't think I'd want to be its friend.
I would be its friend. If
Clearly, I'm the
turtle.
adult in this situation.
Clearly. Anyways, if you watch, like I said, I haven't seen the miniseries in a hot minute. I mean, I know a lot about it, but I haven't watched it, so I can't. I'm sure they have some turtles in it, but if you watch...
They don't even say it's his true form. There's just like a scene. They're just really. What's up? There's a turtle, man. And then that's it.
Literally they did in part 1 of It. It part
really?
1. They have, like, if you look up turtles in It part 1 or something like that, it'll show... I know one specific scene when Bill goes into Georgie's room after there's just a random picture of a and then under it's videos and put the 2 and 2 together. Bill is in Georgie's room after his death, like way after, and he's just crying as he's holding one of Georgie's toys in his hand. Georgie had like a Lego turtle. And
oh my god,
Bill is holding it and crying, and then all of a sudden he hears Georgie running, and that's why he goes out, and then he drops the turtle and it shatters because it's Legos, obviously.
Yeah.
And so and then Pennywise terrorizes Bill in that moment. And then another scene I know specifically that you can like look up while you're watching it or whatever. Yeah. When they're swimming in the quarry. They're just having, and then I think it was Ben that said it. Okay. In case y'all didn't know, the kids' names are Ben, Bill, Mike, Stanley, Eddie, Richie, and then there's Beverly, which is the girl.
Finn Wolfhard plays Richie, right?
Yes.
I like how he didn't play Mike.
I know, but Mike's black, so he couldn't.
Like, I guess that's fair.
And like his,
you want to be true to the book.
Yeah, and his whole backstory is specifically because he's black. So
okay, so we wouldn't. Okay,
I mean in the time period it makes sense because there was.
When is this time period?
Okay, so in the miniseries, it was made in the 80s, so it was. The time period was like around. What was 27 years before the 80s? Because, okay, the way they did that was really cool.
Like 83? No, I'm so sorry, 53. I meant 53.
I was about to say 27 years before 80 something, 80, I don't know. But yes, so it was based in like the 50s or something.
Okay.
And so, you mean, segregation... Yeah. Segregation was it in the 50s?
Yeah, no.
I mean, people still hate it on the color, no matter what.
Yeah, anyways, definitely.
So that was a big thing. But also, 27 years after the miniseries was made, they made it Chapter 1. Again. They remade it. So I thought that was really cool.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm. It's exactly 27 years after. Because they started making it in 2016. So it was exactly 27 years after the miniseries came out. And then they did that in the 80s. So the original one is based in like the 50s, but then 27 years afterwards, it's based in the 80s.
And then it's...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's so cool.
Chapter 2 is in the year 2016. So
it's like...
Literally, even the movies are 27 years apart.
And it's still, if I remember correctly... Like, I've seen trailers and stuff. Mm-hmm. It still follows the same kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
I also follow Finn Wolfhard on Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
So.
But yes. But anyways, yes, his true form looks like a turtle, which is actually a lot friendlier than a clown, so I don't know why he doesn't.
Like, why wouldn't he just stick with that one? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying he should, because I don't want him to be, like...
And...
more powerful or like have more reign over the kids than he does already. But look, I'm way more likely to go up to a turtle
mood, honestly,
than a clown. Yeah,
I cannot tell you how many times as a kid I brought home a turtle. I found him in the street. My mom put him back.
I mean, one time my dad brought home a turtle and we named her Shelly. And then he put her in the backyard, and she ran like so fast, like
Turtles
not
are
even
actually
for a
really
turtle.
fast.
Like she was like sprinting. She was like, "Get me the hell away from this family."
They literally say that turtles are slow, but they're really not.
I know. I think they're just like lazy occasionally.
No,
But she
I
was
think
like,
they'd
"Get me the
rather just
hell away
chill."
from this family. Like I don't want to live
My
here."
name is not Shelly.
She's like, "How
It's
dare
Barbara.
you? How dare you assume my name is Shelly? How dare you?
I am a boy.
A boy named Barbara." That's my favorite male name personally, is Barbara Boy.
Okay.
Boybra.
So
Barboy? I like Boybra more.
I remember reading somewhere, I honestly cannot even like source it because I can't remember. Stephen King was on a plane, and how he thought of the clown shape was he saw the he was on a plane and he saw a McDonald's clown.
Wait,
on
he
the
based
plane.
it off of Ronald McDonald?
No, not Ronald McDonald.
Okay.
But it gave him an idea of, oh, well, people like clowns, and was like, that'll work.
And he made it the creepiest thing ever.
He was also on cocaine while writing the book. Which makes sense because if you read the book,
Okay.
there are many scenes where like, what the actual hell? But then it also is like making sense because Pennywise can do anything, you know? So, but it's like the forms he turns into, it's like, what? You know? It's like, how could you even think of that?
Yeah. No, I don't. Okay.
Like one of the scenes is actually shown in It Chapter 2 is Stanley's head, but with spider legs coming out of it. And he's
What?
singing.
Was that in the book at all?
Yeah, and so, like, I don't. It's just so. There's just some of the scenes, and there's also a big orgy scene between the children.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
and terrifying.
And so it like makes sense that he was on cocaine. If
Yeah,
he has these like weird.
Because I don't think he was.
No, literally, he regrets putting that in the book. He said, Stephen King.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, and Andy Muccinetti. How do you say his last name? The director of the newest version of It wanted to put the orgy scene in the movie.
Why?
Because in the book it was such a meaningful moment.
I don't care.
I'm not saying it makes sense at all.
Yeah, no,
but Beverly, the only girl, was basically the light of the situation. She was the only one that wasn't afraid, which hints as to why she had the dead lights, which we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
But she was the only one that wasn't afraid. In the book, they get lost within the sewers. Derry Maine also had a bunch of underground tunnels, and that's why he lives in the sewers, because it's like...
Well, if they know that they have a clown infestation problem, why would they have a bunch of underground sewers?
They
Above ground sewers for the win. We're going back to medieval times, folks.
Sounds a little in the way.
Maybe a little bit.
But in the book, yes, they were lost, and Beverly was basically the light of the situation, and so they had an orgy, and then they found their way out.
I
don't know how to break that down to make sense.
It makes me so uncomfortable.
But it was like a big, like, I guess, token scene or something in the book.
Even if it's a token scene, it's not something to be depicted in a movie.
Yeah,
with
but
underage
children.
He
didn't want to have to get parents' permission for these kids to act
No, absolutely not.
Which
I wouldn't want to be the parent and have to see a permission form that my kid brings home from school. Like,
can I please do this sex scene?
Yeah, no, absolutely
with
not.
6 other kids.
No, you're actually getting kicked out of school. Kicked out.
Yeah, no,
I'm the principal. You're getting kicked.
Surprise. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't put that in, considering Stephen King admitted that he didn't even like that, and he was the one that wrote it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be up to him. Like, there are so many movies in which they do things that weren't in the book or something like that, or anything like that. Like, the Percy Jackson book and movies were the most far off things that I've, like, ever seen. That's besides the point. But they need to respect the author's choices, and he's the creative mind behind it.
And, like, they put so many, like, better scenes. Like, they didn't have to do an orgy to make it good, you know?
Yeah.
So,
okay, so let's stop talking about that now.
Moving on, that was just another random fact that a lot of people don't know about not reading the book, because it's literally, like, a 20-page long scene.
Oh my gosh, ew.
Okay. Another thing was... Okay, so I did find another article that was saying he was a clown because that is the most scary thing to kids. So honestly, I'll leave that up to y'all, which article you think is more believable. I'm sure you can look up.
Jeanette actually came up with one of them. It's up to you to figure out which one she came up with. I'm just kidding now. I feel like it just depends on the reporter of these two different articles. But I feel like the one where he reels kids in makes more sense. Because why would a kid walk up to something that's scary?
Yeah,
no. And I have seen it. Mm-hmm. It's just been like
a hot minute.
A couple years, I think. Like a year and a half. But I know that he reeled Georgie down into the sewers. Mm-hmm. Like, he wouldn't have been able to do that if it was like a scary thing that no one wanted. I mean, I'm sure he'd be able to, but...
Well, and the fact that he put on such a nice act by saying, but we can be friends.
Yeah, if it was like a huge, like, monster or whatever, then you still wouldn't trust it in that situation.
But, anywho, moving on. Another fun fact, not specifically about like the characters and stuff, but Stephen King he claimed, still claims he's alive, surprise. He's actually in It Chapter 2, by the way.
Like a Stan Lee cameo?
Yeah.
Nice.
And the whole audience is like, No, Stephen King claims that it is his final exam on horror.
Explain a little bit further.
Although King is widely considered to be the master of horror, he's previously said he doesn't have an answer when people ask what drives him. It was his answer to these inquire, quote, "I thought to myself, why don't you write a final exam on horror and put in all the monsters that everyone was afraid of as a kid?"
Oh.
So that's why, like, there's spiders, there's zombies, there's...
Really?
Yeah, there's literally everything. There's, in the movie, it's a leper, because Eddie is specifically a germaphobe. So a guy with leprosy. Yeah. Instead of a zombie, because he's a big germaphobe.
That's creative.
Yeah. But anyways,
it's like in like Smart Kids and like old Disney shows whenever they just dream about getting an F and then like wake up in a cold sweat and you're just like, chill out, you're okay.
That's literally Stephen King. He's like, oh my god, I need to write literally everything about horror in one story. No, but yeah, that was another really interesting thing about that. But yes, he did make a cameo in the chapter 2, which was amazing. It was when Bill went back to go get his bike. So to capture Pennywise, they're supposed to perform that tribal ritual that brought him there, but like reversed.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're supposed to find like tokens of each of their times living in Derry.
Like
because
a birth certificate or
no, okay, so they only lived in Derry basically from when they were born till like, how old were they? 15 maybe? No, they were younger than that.
Yeah, they were like 12.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
Anyways, I don't know, around there. And so they had tokens such as like Ben, he had his ripped out page of his yearbook where Beverly was the only one that signed it, because that was like he was in love with her, and so that was a very big token to him. And like that was just an example. They all have their own, but when they moved away from Derry, they forgot everything about Derry and Pennywise and everything like that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So the curse only stays within the minds and like the people on the land, if that makes sense. So if you move away, your memories are going to fade.
Okay.
And they really talk about that in any of them, but especially out of the two movies, I would say that Chapter 2 goes over that a lot more, because the only kid that stayed there for the whole 27 years was Mike, and so he didn't forget anything. So towards the end, they made a pact that if it ever comes back, they'll all come back to defeat him again, because they
defeated him the first time, right?
Yeah, they put him back into hibernation because they made him scared. Like they switched it. So he was scared of starvation, so he was like, I'm just gonna go to bed, basically.
I mean, literally same.
So anyways, 27 years later, Mike still knows everything because he stayed there. He decided
one of them should stay, I guess?
Well, he wanted to do more research.
Okay.
He literally locked himself in an attic to read every book about Derry, every case of a missing child. He was really
devoted.
Yeah, for the whole 27 years. And then once he started noticing that he was back, like missing children and deaths, stuff like that, he called up all his buddies and was like, listen, it's back. And they just had to drive to come back, because once again, if you do any kind of ritual on that floor, then you have to follow it. Since they cut their hands on the ground, that specific grounds, they had to finish the pact,
Okay.
So anyways, they were driven there, and then they all show up, and they're like, well, why are we here?
Okay, yeah, so they still don't know.
Yeah.
So once they get back in town, do they remember?
Oh, yeah. The memories start flooding in. Mike helps them, and that's why they can see Pennywise as adults.
Because they've already seen him.
Yeah.
Cool,
And
okay.
Because, yeah. So that's how they're able to, try to defeat him again.
Okay.
And, yeah. So, anyways,
that's really interesting.
Yeah. No, but I think one of the main questions, which this will probably be the last topic to go over, because it's probably the main one about its story, is why float. Now people think
the you'll float too
thing. You'll float too, because that's literally in all the movie and the book
and the mini series that I just heard of.
Yes. People think it's because a boat floats on the water.
I mean, they're absolutely correct.
Yes. And they think since the boat that Georgie has is such a symbol in its story,
that is.
but that's not it at all. So
okay, cool. Thanks for giving me all that information just to shoot it back down.
Yeah, exactly. And another reason why people think he says you'll float too is because of the balloon. Which, yes, that's what Pennywise says. It's you like this balloon, you'll float too if you come with me.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
But he's not talking about the floating of the actual balloon.
Well, I had a feeling he wasn't just going to tie Georgie to it and he was going to be like, goodbye, and then like just float off.
So the deadlights that I have been mentioning, but
deadlights.
You don't know.
Yeah, no, we went over it like in the first 5 minutes and you just brushed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me about this is the reason why people float. So the deadlights basically is what holds the fear.
Okay.
After
like,
he,
the canisters
and stuff like that.
in Monsters, Inc.
Yes, that's what I was saying was like, yeah, he has deadlights, but like that, you know. And so he's saying basically, okay, that specific scene when he says you'll float too, Georgie is not scared at the moment. He's not. He's like,
oh, baby.
Like, you're my friend now. Like, you know, we're besties.
To be a child
like, and he says you'll float too because at this point he's like, okay, well, he's not scared, and
you think to scare him.
Yes. So the deadlights will, if he opens his mouth all the way, everyone knows.
I think I've seen that before. I don't want to look it up because it's late and I'm about to go to bed. I don't want to be scared, but I'll probably post a picture to the Instagram in case you don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, what she's talking about. I'm not the one telling the story.
So his mouth will open up completely and the deadlights will shoot straight into the child's eyes. And they'll start floating in the air.
Oh.
And they're basically paralyzed. And he's just shooting fear through their whole body.
Oh.
And so when he's saying you'll float too, he's saying you'll literally float. Like you're floating.
So sad.
Yeah. And also in It Chapter 1, you can see that after, like, you can see his pile of children's clothing and, like, tricycles and toys, Georgie's jacket that Bill finds.
Yeah.
It's just this mountain, and that's basically his house. He, like, made it out of children's stuff. And there's also floating limbs around the pile. Because he doesn't eat the whole kid. I mean, he just wants her fear. So there's like skeletons and stuff like that. Anywho, but that's why he says you'll float too, is because you will literally float. Beverly gets a glimpse from the deadlights, and the fear that was sent through her is how they all die. Because in It Chapter 1, you'll definitely see it. The movie, she is like, I'm not afraid of you. Like, when they're fighting him.
Right.
The only thing she was actually afraid of was her dad, who would, like, you can tell, like, rapes her, abuses her.
Sexually assaults, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only thing she was afraid of.
Yeah.
So he turned into her dad.
That's terrifying.
But she was so, like, determined to kill Pennywise, just like all the other kids. But, you know, they were getting scared. They were
doing their own thing.
Yeah. So she was like
wimps.
And then she was also in that moment finally overcoming her father.
That's good. Yeah.
So she was like, I'm not afraid of you anymore, and then stabs Pennywise, which is her father at this moment.
I think I remember that part. It's been so long. I'm so sorry.
Like, no, you're good. And he's like, oh, well, crap. Here we go.
Whoopsies.
And so then he puts the deadlights on her to put actual fear into her, because she finally overcame her one fear.
And then it works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd assume so.
Well, I mean, it didn't really completely work in his favor, because he didn't get to eat her. Beverly.
He didn't get to snack.
But yeah, she did float. And yeah. In It Chapter 2, Richie floats as an adult because he was bad-mouthing Pennywise, saying, oh, like cussing him out, saying, you're gonna die this time, you know, being Richie, just going off, like, that's it. Like, that's all he did was talk. That's why they say beep beep Richie. Just like to make him shut up. That's another like
yeah.
really big quote in that book and stuff.
Yes.
And that's another thing that Pennywise would tell him is beat Richie, because it was like annoying to him. Not only did Pennywise like to scare them, but he also liked to mess with them and like annoy them.
If you're gonna do that, it's better to.
Yeah, literally. Like at one point, he was face to face with Eddie, which was the germaphobe, and Eddie had just broken his arm. And so he's like freaking out, like, I'm gonna get an infection, like I'm dying. What? And so he takes Eddie's arm and like hits Eddie's face with it.
Oh no.
So he's over here like just like fucking with him, you know,
that.
like
Oh no.
And so then he's even more scared because this clown is like you know, and which this is kind of random, but Richie's fear, because you know how they each had their own fear.
Yeah.
Richie's fear was clowns.
Oh, poor thing.
So, like,
honestly.
he didn't really have to do much.
Yeah, no, he just exists, and Richie's like, ooh, boy, I don't.
Actually, he didn't have to just exist, because Richie likes turtles. No. Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, any other questions? I feel like I covered a lot. Honestly,
did.
I could talk forever about it.
No, you covered so much of it.
I feel like I covered a lot, which the only thing I am pretty iffy about is whether he chose the clown to real kid. I'm like really concerned now.
Yeah, no, because
I want to read. Yeah.
No, I saw your articles. Like
Yeah.
one conflicting.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the time, clowns were like a fun thing for kids.
What year was the book released?
You know, it was
Type fast.
Pretty sure it was in what book?
What year was the book released is what she just Googled. As if Google was supposed to know what exact book she was talking about. Also, it came up with Harry Potter first.
Oh my god, I was right. Okay. I did not say it, but I was literally thinking 1980s, and it was 1986, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. It's a very 80s style book.
Yeah. In the mini series too, and in the book, it starts in, because if he made it in 1986, then the adults are in 86, you know?
Yes.
Does that make sense? So then the kids were in the 50s. And that's why the miniseries started in the 50s and then ended up in the 80s. And stuff like that, so. But yes, the miniseries is exactly... How long is it in the miniseries? I do have to look this up because I honestly can't remember. It's 4-part, 8 hours series.
Oh my gosh.
It was actually on ABC. TV. It was on TV.
Okay, every time I hear mini-series, I just think of like a YouTube like mini-series, but obviously
like Shane Dawson's like
yeah, like Jeffree Star's thing with Shane Dawson, but obviously it couldn't be that because it was in the 80s.
Stephen King.
Yeah, that's really it's interesting.
It's crazy.
It's interesting that I can't talk. You talk.
But yes, no, I think yes, no.
Yes, no.
The miniseries, the only reason why I don't like it, I mean, okay, I loved it, obviously. But when the new movies came out,
you liked those a lot.
I like those a lot better because they're more condensed to get to the point, but also show it a lot. If that makes sense. If you watch the miniseries, it's very dragged out.
Is it really?
Very.
I mean, I guess they have more time to cover everything, so they probably like really take their time
and show more detail
with specific things,
which makes sense. But
yeah.
Also, another really interesting fact in It Chapter 2, Ben, which is the chubby kid.
Okay.
He when he grows up, he becomes like super fit and he's like really cute.
Of course,
you know
the way it is.
Yes. he's like this big like contractor, I think. I don't know, but he's rich, whatever.
Okay.
And he's like on an online meeting.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new one, by the way. He is talking to one of his employers. That employer he's talking to played the original Ben in the miniseries.
Oh,
yeah. So like
so
the
cool.
original little kid Ben is like now grown up, obviously.
Oh,
and he plays
in charge of Big Kid Ben.
No, he's not Big Kid Ben.
No, he's in charge of Big Kid.
Big Kid Ben is in charge of it.
Oh, Big Kid Ben is in charge of Little Kid Ben.
But yeah, I didn't know that until
that's really cool.
I was like looking up the reviews of Stephen King's part in the movie, and then they were like, okay, but did anyone see Big Ben?
Big Kid Ben.
Big Kid Ben. But yeah, and then Stephen King's part was amazing. You can tell that Stephen King really likes these remakes.
That's good.
Because he actually put himself in there. Now, one remake he literally claimed that it sucked was A Pet Sematary. They did not get his point across, and it made him mad.
Okay, so are we gonna do another episode for Pet Sematary?
You know, we totally could, just because I don't know as much.
I want to know about it, but also not right now.
Yeah, no, it has honestly a really cool story.
Yeah.
But the remake that just happened in 2017.
Yeah.
Was it 2017?
I think so. Let me look it up real quick.
Or 18.
You just keep talking about
I think it was 18. I don't know. But that remake, Stephen King hated it. The original one, which I can't remember the time, was a lot better.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's not rated well.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it was released this year.
Oh, wow.
2019.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in April. Yeah, no, it's rated 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Honestly, a lot of those ratings are probably from Stephen King.
Yeah, he's
all, excuse me.
This is something that no one knows, but he actually has secret IMDb accounts. And
many different ones.
Rates them all.
Which, if you look at his Instagram, he did promote it. He was like, hey, go see
that was nice
Pet Sematary. But then it overpowers it. Like he'll like post a lot more about that, and his demon dog.
You know, wait.
I'm so excited. In case
I'm so sorry, you guys can't see a thing.
Yeah, Dr. Sleep is a sequel to The Shining.
I was actually about to talk about The Shining.
I love The Shining.
So my favorite Stephen King thing is The Shining. I love the movie. We'll do an episode on this.
Oh yeah, we totally will.
But I just love the movie because it's so cheesy. Like, because it's old. Like, obviously, it's spooky.
The It miniseries was super cheesy.
I love that.
It's like,
I love
it's
old
just
horror stuff like that. But the thing is about The Shining that made me laugh so hard, which I just want to say real quickly, is basically it's at the very beginning of the movie, and it has it's like a black screen, white text, and it's like next week, that sort of thing, like 3 weeks later, that sort of thing, and then it randomly just says Tuesday, and it just cracks me up every single time because it's like so ominous, and it's like 3 weeks later, Tuesday, like Tuesday wasn't even like part of the time
that was like you had to know it was Tuesday.
Yeah, you wouldn't know
going up on a Tuesday.
No, but the plot wouldn't be the same if it was on a Thursday or a Wednesday.
That's when it all went down, dude.
Please confirm. Also, it says that Stephen King is following one person on Instagram.
It's it. That's
I'm
how
glad
you know.
he liked it.
That's
that much.
how you know. The only person he's following back.
That's
is
incredible.
It, the movie.
They're following 19 people. They're pretty generous.
Who? Probably the actors and stuff. Yeah,
the actors.
Yeah, Jeremy has been.
Although it doesn't look like they're following Stephen King.
T.
Wait, what?
T. Oh my god.
Wait, so the only person that Stephen King is following on Instagram is It the movie,
And they're not even following him back.
That's hilarious.
I'm kind of upset for Stephen King.
Okay, well...
But yeah, I mean, I could literally talk a lot more, but we're not going to do that to you. If y'all want to, It Chapter 2...
If you want to learn more about
It Chapter 2, okay, anyways, if y'all want to know more, let me know. Send me questions.
Our email.
Our email is horrorslumberparty@gmail.com, and our Instagram is
Horror Slumber Party podcast. At Horror Slumber Party Podcast.
And then our Twitter is at party_horror. So follow us on all the social medias.
We will post sometime soon. I think probably tomorrow, the day after we post this, or today. Goodness gracious, it's almost 1 a.m. We will post today pictures of the things that we're referring to, like maybe like the Lego. Yes. Turtle Lego. If you can find a picture of that.
Oh, I totally will.
Really appreciate that. And like
I may also honestly screen record the part where he's like, "Oh, there's a turtle in the quarry," because that one literally gave me chills. Because I thought, like, knowing that the turtle was Pennywise,
so scary.
I thought he was gonna like grab someone underwater.
Oh, I hate that.
But nothing happened, because after he said that, he went underwater and the camera went underwater.
And but then nothing happened?
Yeah, it switched scenes. So
oh my gosh.
I'll have to find that.
That's so
that'd be cool to,
honestly.
Sure. Okay. But yeah, no, let us know what you think, and I really hope y'all stay tuned for the next episodes, because we honestly have so many interesting stories.
I'm gonna tell you guys about so many murders,
and I will tell you about all these fake things.
Don't worry, I'll throw in some fakes. She'll throw in some real. We'll keep it interesting.
Honestly, I have like real experiences from myself.
You have one experience. You have
real experiences.
2 experiences. It's
but they're extremely they're so interesting and scary as hell.
And I think we'd love to do like a listener episode at some point. Like eventually, like have people send in their own stories and like read those, because I would love that.
I want recommendations. I want your own stories. I want like send us facts about a certain kind of thing. I don't know, like I want y'all to hear,
send us stuff.
Like I want y'all to hear what we want y'all to hear too.
Yeah.
But then I also want to like
I want to know what happens to you guys.
Yeah.
Like stuff that I can't
honestly
just Google.
if you have your own like personal ghost or demon encounter, if you experience Pennywise in a sewer like I have,
no ma'am,
please let us know, and
in the comments below. We don't have comments.
We do not. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for tuning in on our little platform, and we hope you have a wonderful night and scary dreams.
Bye.